Hey everyone, this is Said with Messy Growth. Today I got one of the heavy hitters here in Poland sitting down with me, Kamil Rejent, CEO and founder of Survicate. I recently heard the news you hit $4.2 million in recurring revenue. How do you feel?
Pretty exciting. We've hit 4 million a month ago.
Congrats.
Maybe a bit less than that. And actually we are accelerating. So we are about to hit $4.2 million in annual recurring revenue. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking
forward
forward
to it. That's even better, actually.
That's
because
perfect.
It's never that much exciting once you hit the milestone. It's almost the most exciting part is when you're about to do that.
Yeah. You know, we were just talking before this. I met you about 11 years ago, give or take, in Krakow. And I knew it back then you had that eye of the tiger in you. I was like, I better watch out for these guys. Did you back then think that you would be at this particular moment in time where you have $4 million or a profitable business?
I wouldn't say so. I was good at pretending I know what I'm doing. For sure, I had high hopes. So, I think every founder is sort of naive about the future in a positive sense.
Yeah.
Maybe I was even more optimistic that it's once we get on the right track, it's going to be going way faster.
Yeah.
But it's not going that bad.
Yeah. Well, you're doing something right. I mean, a lot of the companies don't make it. Thank you for sitting down with me, Kamil. I think we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation. I have a lot of questions set up for you. But I want to start somewhere. You've been building Survicate since 2013. That's 12 plus years. More startups pretty much die by year 3. That's statistics. What kept you going? And was there a moment or multiple different moments where you almost quit?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say there are two forces, at least in my case. One is that drive to achieve something remarkable. So it's like a life goal, something on your bucket list, a fuzzy, better future. That's on the positive side.
Right.
But at the same time, I would say the second force would be that fear of failure. And actually, at that time, I would say my mindset was that I have no other choice. So I didn't imagine myself coming back to the corporate world, wearing suits every day. So I guess these were those two forces. One that push you forward, and the second thing is something that you sort of run away from. And probably above that, on top of that, would be sort of an urge to prove yourself and everybody around that were maybe doubting or telling you that's not the best idea and you should have a solid day-to-day work. Yeah, so I'd say these are the reasons.
I'm curious because I'm assuming this was a very humbling experience for you. Did you ever feel the need, like when you get at the top of the mountain and there were haters and people who were telling you this wasn't possible, like, screw you, I did it?
I wouldn't say haters, more like doubters.
Right.
Like especially for the first few years when we were constantly growing, but not that fast. So the future was rather uncertain. So there were people, even from some, close proximity, that were not really against that, or as you said, hated the idea, but more like they didn't understand that much and what we're doing and where we're going. So.
Right. Whether you like it or not, and this is something I want to talk about, is you're an inspiration for a lot of people because of the fact it's a byproduct of what you've already done. There's a lot of people who have a lot of fear. Maybe they want to start something, but they can't. They're frozen, or they're thinking of an idea, but they can't because they're frozen with that fear of failure. What would you say to somebody who's looking to just start out? Maybe wants to build a product. There's a lot of products out there, but they want to do something of their own. How do you overcome that fear? Because naturally, hindsight is 20/20. When you look back, it seems semi-easy because you did it. So there is a survivorship bias in there. But what about the people that still want to do it and they possibly will fail? How do they overcome that fear, that noise in the back of the head that tells them, yeah, man, maybe that's not a good idea. It's not going to work.
Yeah. So what? Like, what is the worst thing that could happen? Because the best thing that could happen is that you will succeed one way or the other. Maybe that not necessarily is going to be a great success, like unicorn scale, but any success would be very rewarding from different point of views, like personal, financial, and so on. And then coming back to the first thing that I said, what is the worst thing that could happen? I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that you will learn a ton, meet people that maybe you can start all over again. Something else. Maybe in the process you will find better ideas for the product. There are many stories of that kind. For example, segment.com, they actually were trying to pull something off, like something totally different for many years, and they created a product only for themselves in the process. And that product turned to be very successful, and they ended up being acquired by what's the name of the company? Twilio. So there you go. There are the odds of failing are high, but the more you try, those odds of being successful add up.
100%. You said something in the beginning, which is you didn't want to wear a suit and work at a corporation. You spent years as a product manager at Samsung, Konica Minolta, then jumped into founding Survicate. What made you think I can do this better myself, and were you right?
Yeah, so first of all, I'd say I always wanted to run my own company. So that was something like that idea on the back of my head. Ever since probably I was, started to think about my future, and I became or I joined those companies sort of by accident, especially the first one. I wasn't a product manager in a sense that as I would imagine a product manager in a SaaS company. So not a person that was responsible for product strategy, developing new products and so on. So I rather a product marketing manager, and then a product manager, but more of a training. While working for Konica Minolta, I was responsible for software. So that was my sort of first experience with, I think like back in the days, they didn't call that SaaS, but cloud software. Still, I discovered all that ocean of MarTech technologies, especially marketing automation. And since I was always interested in marketing, that started like that planted an idea in my head that this might be interesting. And one of the catalysts of starting Survicate was actually a very simple product, extremely simple. That was a widget that you can put on the website with a call to action and a button. And for me, that was sort of hard to believe that you can make money selling such an easy product. Just build it, put it online, and customers will come. So that was my understanding about the SaaS business back then. So coming back to your question, I wouldn't say I was thinking I can pull it off better. Rather, this must be very easy. So that is an easy gateway to actually start my own business.
Was it easy though?
No, and it never becomes easier.
You just get adjusted and adapted to the situation. You said something interesting. You love marketing. What makes a good marketer?
Probably one of the most important things would be to understand your customers deeply, because as a marketer, your responsibility is to bring the product to the market. So actually, you are sort of a gateway or a force to bring the company closer to product market fit. So knowing your customers by heart, who they are, where they hang out, how they obtain information, how they research, That's the basis of actually coming up with the marketing strategy and initiatives.
100%.
So that is one thing. Second would be analytical skills, especially in digital marketing. Because one thing is sort of understand your customers sort of like one by one or different segments. But then when you execute your strategy, or when you actually build your strategies,
Right.
it's a number game. So you need to understand that very well.
Yeah, 100%. So Survicate competes with Typeform, SurveyMonkey, massive, well-funded companies for the most part. How in the hell do you compete from Warsaw against these Silicon Valley budgets?
Yeah, we do compete with those. We do compete with many others.
All right.
We have a file with that whole customer experience landscape, and
Your hit list.
It's not a hit list. It's more like a tool to sort of be aware who's out there. So on that list, I think I have around 400, 500 companies.
Oh, wow.
And that's not all, because I don't have all the local players.
Okay.
So my guess would be there are like 1,000 companies out there globally. How do we compete with them? So I would say there are different dimensions of that, because we rely on inbound. So basically, we want people, or we are trying to make Survicate easy to find when people search for solutions to their different problems that we could address. So one of the dimensions that we compete with would be that inbound or search, so SEO, for example. So when it comes to SEO competition, we've been on the market for over 12 years now. We are lucky to have a pretty strong domain comparatively with most of the market. So we are able to compete or outcompete some of the competition in SEO. We don't compete in ads. So you said these are heavily funded and big players with huge budgets.
Sure.
We don't spend on Google ads, so we don't compete here. We need to be scrappy. Actually, one of our sort of core company values or team member traits is scrappy pathfinder.
Right.
So that is somewhat in our DNA. What we do different is we focus on partnerships, tech partnerships. We invested a lot in integrations with all the big players in the MarTech space, product analytics, etc. So if you have that integration, you can work with partner on some marketing cooperation, like webinar, stuff like that. I would say we niche down. So we are not trying to attract all the people out there. So you mentioned SurveyMonkey.
Sure.
SurveyMonkey, it's a survey product for everyone. Survicate is not for everyone. We address, first of all, we sell only to B2B. Our domain is customer feedback, not feedback in general.
Sure.
So we don't do HR, for example. Survicate is more suitable for specific roles. So user researchers, product managers, customer experience, customer insights managers. We have a lot of marketeers. So very specific use cases, and we are way better at addressing those specific use cases, specific workflows. And the same goes to brand building, because we do invest in brand, but it's not something like you could compare maybe to Monday.com.
Sure.
That you can, you open your fridge and see Monday.com ad. Here we niche down as well. So we have very specific target audiences that we advertise to with specific use cases. So then there is this, we are not trying to get into consideration mindset set in people's mind as a general survey
Sure.
tool, but a very specific tool.
I'm curious. I kind of feel like that if you're in leadership, be that be C-level exec or a CEO, people look for you for inspiration. They look for you for ideas, and you're supposed to always have the answers. Where does the CEO look for inspiration?
I'd say, at least at that point, at last, I'm lucky enough to have a great team, and they are full of ideas. Back in the days, for sure, I was probably driving most of the innovation.
Sure.
Maybe even forcing, because I was the loudest voice in the room and I had that strong conviction that I may be right, and I was willing to risk. But today, most of times, I would say those ideas mainly come from the team that is in the trenches. I like being in the trenches, but I can be there less and less nowadays, because it's pretty much covered.
Right.
In my case, I wouldn't say the team is looking up for ideas from me anymore.
If you're not in the trenches on the day-to-day, that just means you have the right team in place, which kind of brings me to a question that I asked Mick Griffin yesterday. I said, like, one of my favorite things that I like to hear, and it's a quote, strategy, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm not sure if culture eats strategy for breakfast. Maybe it's execution, it's strategy for breakfast.
Oh, that's fair.
But in a way, execution is somehow tied to the culture.
Right. Right. In a lot of ways, 100%. But I mean, like you said, if you're not in the trenches on the day-to-day, you have a great team in place. Naturally, culture is a big part of that. And of course, if you execute on top of it, well, you got a pretty good combo right there. I do want to ask you about something, which is most SaaS founders, they pivot 2-3 times before they find the product market fit. Believe me, I know that myself. Did you pivot? And if not, did you just nail it from day one?
No, we didn't nail it from day one for sure. We had a few pivots or like something that falls into pivot category. So the first pivot would be as I mentioned before, like the initial idea for Survicate, that the Catalyst product that we sort of started to take inspiration from, was totally different, because it was about engaging website visitors, not necessarily collecting feedback. Survey was supposed to be sort of an innovation to the product, so that by asking a question or a few questions prior to showing something that was supposed to engage visitors in a personalized way, you actually showing a better call to action. You get engage that better. So this is how or why that survey element got its place in the product. And while we were building the first version, we kind of added quite a few of those survey-related features. But still, once we launched the first website, the whole communication was all about engagement. I don't recall the exact value proposition, but probably it was something like website engagement suite or stuff like that. And we were trying to sell and promote that with that value proposition for a few months, for sure, up until one of the meetings with our supervisory board. And I recall Marcin Szalong from Innovation Nest challenged me quite strongly about what actually is the main use case, like how users use the product.
Right.
And I said surveys. Then you're back in the days that was a website survey, so website feedback. So, well, you have the answer. You are a website feedback tool. And that was the first mental pivot in a way, because then it struck us, okay, like it's not bad to be
Right.
actually a website survey or website feedback tool. We don't need to overcomplicate things. So that was the first one. The second pivot or a major revolution, major expansion was probably after 2 years being on the market. So we had some traction already. And we started getting a lot of feedback ourselves about the product, and people were asking how they could embed that survey in the email,
Right.
or if they even can do that. Probably one of the reasons was that since we started positioning that as website surveys, then people visiting our website were sort of anticipating that we can do sort of traditional surveys as well. And at the same time, you mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned Hotjar while listing competitors.
Hotjar, Qualtrics, yeah.
So at the same time, Hotjar was actually entering the market. And that was
a
pretty loud enter, because that was sort of a revolution. They were combining multiple tools under one roof for a very competitive price. So we thought, okay, that is a big threat.
Yes.
And then we had that biggest pivot or revolution ever, because we expanded the product from that point solution of website feedback tool to a suite of survey products. That was the fastest product change ever. It took us 2 weeks to expand from a point solution to sort of a platform or suite of 4 or 5 different products. So we had those, back in the days, we called them questionnaires. So like surveys that you can link to in the email, Net Promoter Score surveys, feedback button, and something else as well.
100%.
We simply, like from the product point of view, we simply took that widget and we stretched that.
You stretched it out, yeah.
So that was the second one. And that was in 2016. Then for next couple of years, we were expanding within that customer surveys domain. Still, that wasn't like surveys for all, but customer surveys. And we managed to build a pretty solid, battle-proven customer surveys platform. But surveys as a product is not very sticky in most cases. So we were always looking for additional avenues, sort of like where could we enter still in that customer feedback domain that could fit the whole idea of Survicate, the vision, and it could also have better retention. So we built a sort of a module to the product, and back then, that was a few years ago, it was called Feedback Hub. Basically, the idea was that feedback happens not only when you ask for it, it lives in different tools, on different touch points, like across the customer journey. And companies use that, but they don't have one place to store it, to do something with that. So we built Feedback Hub to fetch feedback from those different touch points. So customer conversations on Intercom, Zendesk tickets, HubSpot tickets, customer calls, user interviews, reviews, and so on. So we built that, but for the next probably like 2 or 3 years, it wasn't really usable. It was there. It wasn't used heavily up until the AI revolution happened, because that was a great opportunity for us to actually do something with that feedback. And we invested heavily in AI. And last year we relaunched that, or rebuilt and relaunched that product, renamed that as Insights Hub. Basically today, that's still is a product that enables you to sort of listen to feedback that happens everywhere, fetch it into one tool, and automatically analyze that. So group it into
Nice.
topic, extract insights, give you ready-to-use reports. And there is additional part of the product that we launched alongside Insights Hub. We call that AI Research Assistant. So basically, it's a chat that you can use to automatically analyze whatever you need based on that ocean of feedback that you have there. So you can think of it as a sort of your, maybe not junior because it's pretty good, but an assistant that you can basically task with any research project, ask any question, and it will lure into that feedback database and try to make sense of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's one problem that I face too about customer feedback. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, just to wrap it up. So right now with that we pivoted from that customer survey positioning to customer feedback platform.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's comprehensive and a lot of pivots, but I'm glad to see that it's working. I do want to mention one thing. It's something that I've faced a lot. A lot of companies, they collect customer feedback. Your whole business is about collecting customer feedback. I'm curious if you take it a step further, do companies actually do anything with that feedback, or it just gets compiled into a notional doc and never gets reviewed?
I don't think there are many companies, if any, that simply collect it for the sake of collecting and storing there and not ever using that, because that doesn't make sense. I mean, even if you just analyze that and your team has access to that, hopefully they're accessing that. Maybe somebody shares some nuggets from research. That is something that builds intuition, like customer product intuition over time, in the team. But actually, I would say our customers do pretty amazing stuff with feedback. They not only, like, the basic stuff is obviously collecting and analyzing things to simply know what's going on, what customer wants, what they say, what they are happy about or not. But also, with the range of integrations that we offer, they actually use that feedback in an automated manner. So they incorporate that in marketing workflows. So they build personalized communication paths in marketing automation tools. They collect customer satisfaction score, NPS score, and act on that. So for detractors, they ask follow-up questions to know what are the reasons for customers not being happy. For promoters, they use that to drive the number of reviews, the score on G2, Capterra, and so on. I mean, they build great products. Oftentimes they discover ideas that they never considered. Sticking to the product, they integrate customer feedback with the product analytics tools to not only know what is going on, how users behave, but why they behave as they do, why they don't take some critical actions in the product, and so forth. So yeah. Most of our customers are pretty advanced, like tech savvy, and they like to hack their way with the feedback as well.
You raised a pretty important point, which is AI. It's integrated to a lot of platforms. It's the name of the game right now. It can analyze customer calls, emails, support tickets, Zendesk tickets, reviews, and just about everything under the sun. Does that make survey tools playing catch up all the time? What's the future of asking customers when you can just sit back and observe them?
I'd say that feedback that you can sort of monitor and fetch, in our case with Insights Hub, that is the feedback that people share unprompted. So it's more relevant to them at any given moment. Still, you may have some questions.
Of course, yeah.
You may have some blind spots in your understanding of customers. You have the strategy, the roadmap in your head. Maybe you want to challenge some ideas. So I don't think surveys are going away anytime soon, because that's a totally different tool.
I got you. So you've been, like we talked about it, you've been building a Survicate for a long period of time, way before SaaS was cool here in Poland. What's actually changed in the Polish tech scene in the past 12 years? And what are the frustrating things that you feel are still the same?
All right. So Polish SaaS is cool right now.
Well, I believe so. I think one of the reasons for that is it's because of the introduction of AI. Now, pretty much everybody with an idea can go ahead and build a tool faster than they can cook dinner, right? You need to put a couple of prompts, and I'm not talking about the security backend or the whole infrastructure, but you can build a product, whatever shape or form it might be in, and it's pretty easy. So anybody with an idea is now going ahead and building products. I'm not talking about scaling or getting to $4 million. That is a whole different cookie altogether.
Yeah.
But I am curious, since this is a global phenomenon, not just a Poland's phenomenon, what has changed in these past decade or so, and what are some of the things that are pretty much the same?
All right. Before jumping to answering that question, I would, for a brief moment, come back to the side question or side comment you made about vibe coding and ability to build products with AI. Actually, I have a feeling that that excitement about vibe coding is actually declining right now.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because to be honest, we were kind of afraid about that.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded as if companies would like to build those products themselves. But from what I hear and I see on LinkedIn, that initial excitement is fading because first of all, it's not that easy to build the product that you have in mind with those prompts. There are many people on LinkedIn, for example, preaching pretty complicated stuff when it comes to how to prompt. So you need to first study how to prompt the thing. It's not like I was playing with that. I wanted to have a simple tool for team structure. I resigned after 2 days, to be honest, and it was long before I even would get to something usable. And then for me as a non-developer, the obstacle would be to actually do the quality assurance and
security.
Deploy that. I have no clue how to deploy something I would build with vibe coding.
It's addictive though.
No, I got tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. But you asked about what changed over the years on the Polish startup scene. So to be completely honest, I don't track the Polish startup scene that much. I was somewhat involved back in the days when we were doing the customer development. So part of the customer development was done in Poland as well. Fundraising. So I was going to all those pitching competitions.
Fun events.
InfoShare, the event you mentioned. The rounds are higher in Poland than they were back in the day. I mean, our first round was crazy small.
Yeah.
So I think investors are aware that it's not that easy and that cheap to build a great product, even with vibe coding available. So that's that. Second, I would say perhaps we have more experienced people on the market because we had quite a few SaaS tech companies being launched. Some of them became successful. So we have more talented people available that we had 12, 13 years ago. 12, 13 years ago, nobody knew how to do SaaS, how to run some business.
Still learning,
Yeah, and it was all about growth hacking, which doesn't work anymore.
Unfortunately.
So we were reading, what was the name of the guy? Sean Ellis. And dreaming about putting like winning the market with branded footer, like powered by Survicate.
Of course.
I'd say there are more people available on the market that can help you building the business, the tech business. Although I'd say it's still not enough. It's very hard to find a person that is seasoned, experienced enough to have their own playbooks, analyze your case, diagnose the business, and draw a clear path from where you are today and where you want to get in, 1 year, 2 years, and then deploy their own playbooks that they executed multiple times in different companies in the past.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, apart from that, I could add what changed globally, like that is something that could be applied to Polish markets or to Polish tech companies as well. So, as I said, growth hacking doesn't more anymore. Categories are more matured.
100%.
Yeah, so you could observe how that Martech map that the guy from Scott Brinker from HubSpot publishes. So it grew over the years from probably like, I don't know, 1,000 to what's that today? Like 20,000.
It's a lot of companies,
only Martech. So categories are crowded, matured. There's something for everyone, so it's very hard to come up with some sort of revolutionary model. So, if you, even if you have a really good product and crazy competitive pricing, it doesn't mean that you will succeed anyhow. With that, categories being matured and crowded, brand becomes more and more important. And there are well-established brands in every single category. So you need to be either heavily funded to outspend the competition, to somehow build that brand recognition, or maybe be extremely creative and do some stunts. And there are some examples of that, but you need to be very lucky as well.
Yeah, 100% luck plays a big factor. I want to switch gears a little bit. I have had people that tell me, life looks a lot different for you from the inside than it is from the outside. You look at celebrities, you look at CEOs, it looks pretty flashy for the most part. You get to have $4 million in recurring revenue. Your Slack is blowing up. You got Stripe notifications.
Nobody posts on LinkedIn that they have depression.
There you go, right? That's the most part, because people strive for that, because that seems like an esoteric, godlike skill that I want to be CEO and I get to call the shots. What is one thing that people don't tell you about being a CEO?
For most of the time, that is a sinusoid. So, there are good times when you are very optimistic about the future. You're cooking some new features with the team, and you think, wow, that's gonna change everything for us. The growth is just around the corner. We just need to
one more push,
release that, and go to product hunt, and people will go crazy. And then you release that, and you hear crickets, like nobody cares. You need to do the heavy lifting to promote that, even among your own users. Even if to such extent that when we released those new features I mentioned, and they were in the top menu, like there were new things in the menu, and some people were saying they didn't notice.
Wow.
They were using Survicate, analyzing survey responses, and they never noticed that. So then it goes down, and it takes some time to find the next reason for being optimistic about the future. Although I would say that amplitude of moods, those swings become less sudden, or you don't go that high after several years, because you sort of know that
You're numb.
that feature, new feature is amazing, but it still will require a lot of work to move the needle.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're not, at least in our case, we are in a good condition as a company. So you're not stressed that you're gonna run out of money.
Sure.
So that bottom part of the sinusoid is not that terrible.
Yeah. It's one thing, and I can resonate with it, especially if you hear in the news on LinkedIn, Lovable did $100 million in recurring revenue in 8 or 9 months or whatnot. I know the devil is in the details, but seeing that news with 11 Labs, with Lovables of the world, most companies or SaaS companies now obsess over growth at pretty much at all costs. You've been steady for 12 years. So is slow and steady actually a viable strategy, or do you wish you'd grown faster?
That is not a viable strategy, and that's not our strategy.
Okay.
So it's not like we sort of dealt with that, and we are happy about being growing steadily. I'd say we are ambitious, and throughout the history of Survicate, we were always setting a pretty ambitious goals and trying to figure out the path towards achieving them. But we never achieved any of those very ambitious goals.
That's a good thing.
Yes and no, because then if you are announcing the next goal during
oh, that's a fair point.
All hands or company meeting, people, I assume people may go, yeah, here we go again.
Yeah.
And don't really believe that. So,
he's at it again.
Yes. Yeah, but so we've been growing year over year. We had better years, slightly worse years, not terrible for sure. So it was never below like 15% year over year. But yeah, we are hungry for more. And actually, this time around, I'm very optimistic about the goal that we set to ourselves for the next year, not the whole year, because we are aiming at the end of Q2 to hit 5 million in annual recurring revenue.
Nice.
And coming back to that announcement for the team, I was even thinking about not announcing the goal so that we can celebrate once we get there.
Yeah.
Seeing that latest acceleration, and actually we had a planning workshop last week in Gdańsk, and after that workshop, after that discussion and planning, I am very optimistic about hitting that goal. I even sort of was tempted to maybe increasing it.
Don't do that.
No, because then we will go to
same cycle.
To the same cycle. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed. Just one question that came up while you were speaking, Kamil. You're nothing without your team, right? B2B SaaS has pretty much been a team sport and always will be a team sport. I guess, what is one quality you look for in someone when you're hiring them?
So we have 6 we call that gang members traits. Yeah, because the team is called the gang. I would say the most important one for us is curiosity, because it's a driving force to be proactive, to expand horizons, to sort of look beyond your scope of work, being innovative. So that's absolutely number one trait.
Curiosity. Yeah. Perfect. I guess I do want to ask you one thing, is there some advice you would give to somebody who's starting a company in Poland today? And is there anything else you would say they should do differently than what you did in 2013?
Yes. I mentioned that there are more people available on the market that are seasoned and have done things in successful companies. I'd say hire talented, experienced people sooner. It doesn't mean like from the get-go.
Right.
Those people may need certain environment and perhaps product market fit,
Right.
at least. But once you have a good conviction about having the product market fit, knowing your customers, and you sort of want to scale, I would say scaling without talented people that can come with their own playbooks, and you don't need to tell them what to do. That is a game changer.
Right. 100%. Well, I guess last one before we head into our rapid fire round, Kamil. You've been a CEO for a long time, 12 years. What's the one thing that you love or absolutely love about being a founder, and one of the things that you hate being a founder or CEO, minus the glamour that comes with it?
Yes. No, I don't care. I'd say I love working with talented people. I still love having some influence on the product. Although we have a great product team, so I'm sometimes surprised by new releases, but it's still something that I like to think about and sort of brainstorm ideas with Daniel. What I hate, yeah, everything that comes with that administrative part of being a founder.
Oh, you're telling me you don't love Zeus?
Yeah. So all those things that I know that don't move a needle.
Fair enough. Camille, one more thing I want to ask you. Let's say if somebody's looking for a job here at Survicate, what's the one way you think would be a right way for them to grab your attention? Let's just say something unique and out of the fold of sending a CV, let's say.
That's a great question, because I can tell you an example. I mean, obviously, we have some open roles for marketing as we speak, and I'd say we will have some roles next year, maybe in sales, success.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it depends on the scale, but there is always a non-existent opportunity where you can pitch yourself for being helpful. It's not an easy task, but I recall one guy, he doesn't work with us anymore, he moved to a different company, but a very young person that wrote to me on LinkedIn. The message was extremely long, but it was thoughtful, personalized. He had an idea for himself. He pitched how he could be beneficial for the company.
Right.
And like, just by reading that, you could see the whole composition of the person.
Yeah.
And I wrote to the other guy in the team, we need to hire him. and a plot twist, actually he wrote to the other person as well.
There you go, proper outbound.
Yes.
Nice. That's awesome. I kind of feel like that there is since the introduction of remote work in the world, there is no barriers anymore. Like, you're not competing with the people in your city. You're competing with pretty much, like you said earlier, globally, right? So you just want to make yourself stand out. Perhaps this would be the way to go reach out to a CEO in a more erratic way and try to see if you can get your way into the company. So that's really good. I want to move on to the rapid fire round. Camille, this is one of my favorite ones. Best advice that you've received, business or personal?
Okay. I don't know if that's related. That's sort of a story. I got accepted to 2 universities. So geography and management.
Oh, there you go.
And my mom's boss. And first I sent my papers to geography because I thought, yeah, studies are for fun, spending times a great time. It's not necessarily about learning skills. And my mom's boss, when he heard that and he knew me, he was like, "What the fuck? What is he going to teach kids geography?"
Mm.
And I was like, maybe he's right. And I went to management. That was one of the best decisions. So sorry, not applicable to founders out there.
You heard it here. No geography, people. Advice you ignored and wish you had.
Plenty of those, I'd say. Niche down, focus on particular target group. Don't try to build something for everybody out there. I think we've been doing that for too long. Niche down with a tactic. So again, I think Martin Sholong, maybe during the same meeting, his advice was to simply try to get customers that are churning from Qualtrics.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'd say if we would simply stick to that for a year or two, even having like value proposition, hassle-free Qualtrics alternative or something like that, that would be more effective than trying to do many things at once.
I think you're onto something, because a lot of the products that are being built right now, specifically with vibe coding and everything, they're just looking at one critical pain point that big companies are not solving. And you're just essentially a funnel that is catching. So 1% of $100 million is still $1 million.
So it will, I would say it would get us to the first million, for example, way quicker.
A lot quicker. Okay, fantastic. What would you tell your younger self, say 7 or 10 years ago? In the other realm that Kamil is learning geography.
To know, maybe that advice would be about caring about health and doing sports even more. I mean, I do, but yeah, I sound old right now. But
well, welcome to the club. One ongoing challenge in your current work that is keeping you up at night or keeps you up at night?
I sleep like a baby.
No, you do. Wow. Yeah. Well, we got to sell us the pill that you do take. That's fantastic. Favorite restaurant, meal, or spot in Poland?
I have one that I want to go to.
What's that?
The hot pot thing?
Sure. There's actually one very good one here in Warsaw, if you like a recommendation. Maybe we can go out and have hot pot.
Yeah. So this is something that is on my list. I like to cook myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the favorite thing you cook, or the best thing? According to other people, not you.
I would describe my style as fusion with strong Asian influence.
Right on. Cool. Awesome. One tool you swear by other than Survicate?
Tools.
Yeah, one tool.
I can recommend one tool that we are only starting to explore, but I already recommended that to several companies. That's Hex.
Hex. It's HEX?
HEX.tech. So the tech.
Hex.tech. Interesting. What is that about?
I don't know how many years they've been around, but most recently they launched. So basically, it's like Metabase or other analytics tools that you plug into your data warehouse.
Nice.
And recently they launched a thing called Threads.
Threads. Okay.
It's a AI chat that if you have your data structurized in the right way and described, so it understands the data, it can do heavy data analytics for you.
That's awesome.
We are in the early phase of introducing that. So the output still pretty much depends on the data quality and some nuances that we have there. But I'm hoping that within 6 months, it will be actually able to answer any data-related question. And even today, if you task it with pretty advanced and difficult stuff, you can see the process, and it seems to be working extremely well. And I'm pretty sure in about 6 months, that's going to be amazing. Like, that's going to be your
that's awesome.
Analytic.
Let me see if I can vibe code it. Probably not.
I don't think so.
One last question before we wrap up, Kamil. I was talking to one of the CEOs, founders, earlier in the month, and one of the things that just kind of like stood out for me, that person's identity is pretty much tied to their being a founder. Do you think is that healthy? Is that common?
I think it is common. If you're a founder, the company is your baby, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but sometimes you sort of stop for a moment if you and wait, like what should go first,
Yeah.
father or founder? No, joking. But definitely, it's a big part of who you are. It defines you in a way. Certainly changes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not doing
it's a burden as
well,
well.
100% it is. But I guess it's a nice burden to have, right? That is a privileged position that you get to make that decision.
Yeah. I mean,
and
we
think
signed up for that. So.
Right, 100%. If you're not doing Survicate, what are you doing?
Yeah, so most recently we bought like a small piece of land.
Nice.
I don't know if you could know the thing, rot, działka rot.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, działka.
So we have that, and for past couple of months, I was heavily involved in that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it like is it a huge one?
I don't know. It's like 400 square meters.
Okay, that's a lot. You did równowanie and everything?
No, but we did some terraforming in general, so we managed to change the whole thing quite a lot. So that was an escape for me.
Nice.
So I was resetting my brain by digging and building. Actually, I've built a greenhouse.
Oh, you did?
From scratch.
And you're planting something there?
Not yet.
Okay.
We will be planting there next year, but we already had some vegetables from that, so it's rewarding.
There you go. Yeah, I think there's something about being close to all land and nature that just is it's precious, especially if you're dealing with tech and screens pretty much all day. Kamil, it's been a pleasure, man. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can listeners find you? LinkedIn is the place to be. Any upcoming project, launch, feature, or anything that you're excited about?
Yeah, so the Deal Breakers is a sort of a bigger initiative that we started last year, at the end of last year. And it consists of all the most requested features and features that were blocking us from closing deals over the years. So we packed that as a one sort of a product initiative with several projects. And a good portion of that initiative is already addressed, and features were released. So, for example, dashboards.
Right.
We have email distribution on that list, and a few others.
Nice. Awesome.
So that's about to be released. I think like first half of Q1.
Oh, that's pretty close.
And then on the sort of more innovative side, we are working on yet the next iteration of Insights Hub. So as I mentioned, we released that AI Insights Hub last year. Then we were promoting that, getting trying to get users to use that, and we started getting a lot of feedback. And now, based on that feedback collected, but also deep customer interviews that we've been conducting over past several weeks, we have a pretty exciting idea on how to move that to the next level.
Certainly.
It will be hard for me even to describe that today, but
you have time to perfect the messaging, but this sounds exciting, and I hope that takes you to the next. That is the catalyst that takes you to the next level.
Yeah. So coming back to our one of those previous parts of the conversation, I'm trying not to think that way, so it doesn't get me too optimistic about the future.
I
But
got you.
for sure, it will add to that baseline growth.
I guess that's the maturity scale, right? You know how the story plays out. So that's perfect. Well, Kamil, thank you for being a graceful host. I really appreciate it coming here. Thank you for taking the time. I also want to say thank you to Chris Novak, the guy. He's the person who did pretty much everything here, lighting, cameras. Thank you so much for the equipment. If you got value from it, please share it with other people. And yeah, anybody who wants to hear it. I'll see you next week. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you.